What's up, everyone? BG Wizard back for another video. Today we're taking a look at the best ranged DPS tier list for rated battlegrounds in Dragonflight Season 1. Let's get into the video. Okay, so we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, as always, starting at the C tier. And you really hate to see it. It's just the mages. It's just mages. That's it. That's the C tier. Mages suck. Not taking them to my RBG team at all this season. I apologize, not trying to be rude about it. They are just not a good class in rated battlegrounds. I did try a Frost Mage this season. I thought, hey man, Frost Mages might be able to sit bases with these increased health pools and increased healing. Pretty much anybody can sit a base, right? You don't get globaled anymore. Everybody can live long enough to get reinforcements to your base. Pretty much anything can sit a base. So I thought, you know what? Frost Mage might be back to being the meta base sitter. They were really good back in the day. I tried a Frost Mage and no, it's pathetic. That's all I have to say about that. Mage is not very desirable in RBGs. I don't know, maybe if you had like a really good mage, you could make it work. One that can, land you kills and is really good at working with your team to set up, maybe some CC on healers with like a Combust Go or whatever arcane mages have, or Frost Mage. I don't know. Mages just, they don't feel very good in RBGs for whatever reason. Maybe it's because Polymorph breaks so easily in an RBG. I'm not sure. Like, obviously, Counterspell would probably be pretty good. It's because CCs are very important right now. CCs are very important to land kills. It's extremely hard to get a kill in an RBG right now because the health bars are so high and healing so high. So CC goes are very important. So you would think mages might be a little bit better, but I think maybe it's just polys break or get dispelled in RBGs. I don't know what it is. I tried mage this season. It didn't work. Okay, let's move on. B tier. The B tier, this is what I would consider the bottom of the playable specs. So I do think you can push rating with B tier classes, but I don't recommend it. This is kind of the tier where if you have a friend that's like kind of good on this class, take them, have some fun, and you can probably push ratings still. But if you do want to play meta, it's probably not this tier. So one thing I will say, this is it. This is it for the B tier, by the way. It's Boomkin and the Hunters. So one thing I will say, I don't know which Hunter spec is the best because I'm not a Hunter and I have not played with a lot this season, nor have I seen a lot of Hunters. However, I think Hunters are low-key maybe good. I just don't know which spec. So depending on which spec is the best here, I might move one of these up to A tier. Also, take this into consideration, is Boomkins can sit bases, and so can Hunters, especially Beast Mastery. So these are kind of all like, maybe even A tier, but I just wasn't sold enough that I just think, okay, so for Druids, I think that there's better specs than Boomkin, like specifically Feral Druids. Like if you're playing Boomkin instead of Feral, you're kind of throwing. So I think just because there's such a better spec for Druids, and if you throw Boomkin compared to the other casters, I think Boomkin's a fair B tier, with the exception that it does sit bases and have stealth. So it is pretty good in RBGs because you can still stealth cap with clone and stuff like that. You can sit bases. So it does bring value that could be A tier, arguably. The Hunter, especially sitting bases, maybe. And also, I think one Hunter spec, or maybe two, I don't even know, they could do enough damage if it's a good player, where this could be an A tier as well. But for this video, I'm just going to leave them at B tier with like a, hey, these could maybe move up. Okay, let's move on. So we're going to go to the A tier here. I'm throwing myself there, Shadow Priest. I'm throwing Ellie Shaman. I'm throwing Demo Locks. So if I'm going to be honest, I think all of these could move up to S tier, but I don't think they're as good as the S tier that I have. So Shadow Priest, let me talk about Shadow Priest for a sec. Shadow Priest, very good damage right now. It's not the best, but it's like good, A tier damage, I would say. Utility, definitely A tier utility. We have life swap, we have short life grips, we have short MDs. power infusion for your teammate and yourself. Psy Fiend. So, yeah, utility-wise, probably A tier for Shadow Priest. And damage-wise, A tier for Shadow Priest. We do have pretty good burst damage as well. So you can either play pad spec or single target spec. And both are pretty valuable. So I think Shadow Priest you can definitely push with right now. I think it's a pretty good class to have on your team. But I wouldn't consider it mandatory. Like, I don't think it's one of those classes where it's like, oh, we don't have a Shadow Priest. Like, we're not playing meta. Like, we're going to be a worse team because we don't have a Shadow Priest. It's not like that. It's not like a needed class, but it is good. It is good. So, A tier. Okay, Devastation Evoker is something that surprisingly I have not seen a lot of. However, faced one the other day. Shout out Easy Game. The AoE route is so damn good in RBGs. I thought Devastation Evoker, nope, that's B tier. That's B tier. Don't see them. DHs are just better because DHs are kind of the same role where it's like they're both fast, but DHs are like they're a little bit faster and they also have Spectral Sight, and DHs are incredibly good right now. So DH is kind of, I was like, okay, Evoker, Devastation Evoker, maybe it plays like the DH role. No, it doesn't. However, their damage and team fight, their rooting ability, they're kind of like that AoE thing they do where they go if you're all stacked. Like, it's a pretty good spec. I got to throw it A tier, man. We lost to an Evoker the other day. Like I said, I think I've played one night with an Evoker. We did okay. And then we queued into one the other night and we lost. So that's like I said, I haven't seen a lot of them in RBGs. Surprisingly, I know there's a lot of people playing Evoker right now, but in RBGs, typically they're healers. You don't see a lot of DPS ones, but the ones I have seen have done enough in the games for me to consider it being A tier. I think we're still figuring out this class in spec, so I think it could move up or down depending on as the meta goes and patch notes change and stuff. But right now I got it at A tier. LE Shaman, pretty good. To be honest, I'm pretty impressed with the enhance, but I think LE is pretty good too. So don't have much to say about LE other than I think they're A tier. I think they're a solid class to have on your team. Once kind of like Shadow Priest and pretty much every class in this A tier. I don't think you lose if you don't have an LE Shaman. But I also don't think it hurts to have one on your team. It's a pretty good class to have. Okay, Demo Lock. Demo Lock is solid. RBG wise, I consider them probably a base hitter, if I'm going to be honest. I haven't really seen many Demo Locks be team fighting or like anything. I think typically they'll play the other specs, which leads us to the S tier. That's it. That's the list. Affliction Warlock. Absolutely incredible damage as always. They top the meters. Shocker. They bring Healthstone. They bring Gate. They have Rift Knock. Broken class. Best damage in the game. Also Destruction. Tops damage. Just got buffed. Also the best class in the game. Healthstone, Gate. Still have the Rift Knock. Top 2 damage in the game. Healthstone's Gate. You need a Warlock. Dispel Protect. I lean towards UA Lock for Dispel Protection because dispelling UAs is deadly right now. And I just like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Shadow Priest. I think Affliction's better. However, I have seen Destruction Warlock this season do really well. And they just got buffed, so I expect to see more Destruction Warlocks. Either way you look at it, Warlock is S tier by far. I think the best DPS. That's the ranged DPS tier list, guys. Make sure you check out the healer tier list we have for the season, as well as the melee DPS tier list. Just did an updated one on both of those. So updated RBG tier lists on the channel now. Like, subscribe, comment below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you on the next one. Bye.